The Arctic frontline, why the US? Why Russia, China are racing to the north. Global powers are militarizing the Arctic. New bases, climate shifts, and untapped oil make it a geopolitical time bomb. Melting glaciers, Arctic submarines, global maps highlighting the Arctic. It was once frozen, forgotten, impenetrable. But now, the Arctic is melting, and the world's superpowers are moving in. The United States, Russia, and China are all racing north. Not for survival, but for dominance. This is more than climate change. It's the next battlefield. Let's break it down. Icebreakers, oil rigs, Arctic wildlife. Under the Arctic ice lies something powerful. An estimated 90 billion barrels of oil and most nearly 30% of the world's undiscovered natural gas. Add to that critical minerals care, untapped shipping routes, and strategic missile paths over the pole. And you've got a region that could reshape the global economy. The Arctic isn't just melting, it's becoming valuable. And whoever controls it controls the future. Cargo ships through icy waters, melting ice time lapses. Thanks to climate change, ice coverage in the Arctic is shrinking every year. That means new sea lanes are opening, like the Northern Sea Route, cutting shipping time between Asia and Europe by nearly 40%. Suddenly, the Arctic isn't just a frozen wasteland, it's a global trade highway. And with no clear ownership of Arctic waters, the region has become a legal and military gray zone. Russian military drills, Putin's speeches, Arctic bases. Russia sees the Arctic as its backyard and it's acting fast. Moscow has rebuilt dozens of Soviet-era bases, deployed Arctic-trained troops, and stationed nuclear submarines beneath the ice. Russia operates the world's largest fleet of nuclear-powered icebreakers, making it the only country able to project year-round force in the far north. It even launched a dedicated Arctic command, complete with air defense systems and hypersonic-capable missiles. U.S. Navy in icy waters, Alaska radar stations, Arctic training drills. The U.S. isn't standing still. Washington is reinforcing Alaska's military footprint and expanding satellite surveillance over the pole. New Arctic-focused strategy documents mention strategic competition with Russia and China mine directly. The U.S. is also working closely with Canada, Norway, and Denmark to bolster NATO's northern flank. And for the first time in decades, U.S. submarines are training for sustained operations beneath the polar ice. Because in a future war, missiles won't come from the south, they'll fly over the pole. Chinese research stations, Belt and Road maps, Arctic Council footage. China has no Arctic territory, so why is it investing billions in the region? Beijing calls itself a Freistaus, near Arctic state, and it's pouring money into Mao's Arctic science stations, polar research ships, and satellite networks. But critics say the research is a cover for military positioning and data collection. China's ultimate goal? To integrate the Arctic into its Polar Silk Road, part of the Belt and Road Initiative. Missile systems, contested maps, icebreaker convoys. Tensions are heating up, even as the ice melts. With no clear Arctic border agreements, nations are submitting rival claims to the United Nations over continental shelf rights. Military exercises near the North Pole are becoming more frequent and more aggressive. And as Russia partners with China and the U.S., strengthens ties with NATO Arctic nations, a new Cold War is forming, one that's literally cold. Melting ice caps, extreme weather events, military flooding drills. The Arctic is warming 4 times faster than the rest of the planet. That means faster melt, rising seas, and more extreme weather. Even for countries thousands of miles away, but it also means instability. Ports vanish, permafrost collapses, wildlife dies, populations migrate. Now imagine all that, with armed bases, rival warships, and nuclear submarines circling beneath. Climate disaster plus geopolitical rivalry and volatile future. When pondering over who owns the Arctic, the simple answer is no one, yet everyone claims it. The Arctic Council, comprising 8 nations, stands as a forum for discussion. However, it lacks the legal clout to enforce sovereignty. This creates a unique scenario where international law permits countries to stake claims to segments of the Arctic seabed. contingent upon proving these areas are extensions of their continental shelves. Take, for instance, Russia's bold attempt to assert dominance by planting a flag on the ocean floor beneath the North Pole, a symbolic act representing the ongoing tug of sovereignty and resources in this icy frontier. This environment, rich in potential fossil fuels and rare minerals, remains a focal point for geopolitical tension and environmental concern. As nations navigate the complex web of legal claims and environmental ethics, the Arctic's future hangs in a delicate balance, one that reflects the larger challenges of global cooperation and competition.